Even though I am a movie guy, there are 3 reasons I don't do movie reviews. 1. I don't make it to the movies nearly as much as I would like. 2. I don't like overthinking films on the first viewing. And 3. By the time I have enough thoughts to do a review, people way more studious and talented than me have already stated everything I could say on the subject. That's why my channel is focused a lot on RWBY. When I first started, none of the big RWBY YouTubers really shared the same thoughts and analysis I did, and so I felt like I had something good to offer to the conversation. So I wanted to do a video about a movie I'm willing to bet most of you have never heard of. Phoebe in Wonderland is an indie drama that premiered at Sundance back in 2008 before getting a very limited release in early 2009. It did well for a film with that budget, particularly for first-time writer and director Daniel Barnes. I discovered the film a little while later, and around late 2010 I had just gotten Netflix and was binge-watching movies. At the same time, I was on a big Alice in Wonderland kick, having just read the original text and the follow-up, so Phoebe in Wonderland caught my eye with just its title. What else caught my eye was the cast. I had heard of Elle Fanning, younger sister of Dakota Fanning. She had gotten some buzz in late 2010 for a Sofia Coppola-directed snooze fest called Somewhere, and she was slated for a prominent role in J.J. Abrams' Super 8, which came out in the summer of 2011. The movie centers around Phoebe Lichten, a 10-year-old girl with issues. Yeah, issues. The exact nature of which are a major plot point and therefore a spoiler I'm unwilling to give away. Phoebe is obsessed with Alice in Wonderland and all of Lewis Carroll's bizarre creations. She's a bit of a free spirit.
What do we know about Good Job Jenny?
She deserves a slow and painful death.
But that freedom is coupled with an immense social anxiety that might be the film's greatest strength.
Can't help it. I don't know why.
The film doesn't so much have a plot as it does a plot structure. There's no overarching narrative, just a series of events that all serve to cause immense stress on its anxious little pixie of a protagonist. And Elle Fanning knocks it out of the freaking park. This is one of the greatest child performances I've ever seen. It easily smokes anything Dakota Fanning has ever done. Some way, somehow, Daniel Barnes and his cast managed to make the characters feel real without taking water from the dried out well of child archetypes. The gimmick with any Dakota Fanning performance is that she's a precocious little angel who acts more like an adult than her usually unstable parental figures. Elle Fanning is also precocious in a lot of her roles, but she adds layers of angst and inner turmoil, that kind of youthful vulnerability that most actors 4 times her age tend to lack, and it carries this film. Not that the rest of the cast is bad. Bill Pullman and Felicity Huffman are very convincing as her parents. They're good people, but far from the idealized parental figures you'll see in stories like To Kill a Mockingbird. Patricia Clarkson is as good as she always is, that is to say solid, as the flighty yet wise theater teacher Miss Dodger. The rest of the young cast do pretty well for kids. Granted, the bar is set really low and Elle Fanning is leagues above the rest, but they're all functional in their roles. Everything else about the movie is pretty cheap. The writing is solid, though I feel like Daniel Barnes loves Dead Poets Society perhaps a little too much. I'm also not going to rag on the production values because I'm pretty sure I spent more on this computer than the studio spent on this film. And Barnes does a good job making everything feel as whimsical as he can when he needs to. The elevator theme music is also as catchy as it is minimalistic. Then again, I do have a soft spot for music played on xylophone and bells. Overall, it's a good watch, but outside of one unusually solid performance, it's not much to write home about. So then, why am I talking about this? Well, Phoebe in Wonderland is one of my absolute favorite movies. I'd like to say that I don't know why this movie just hits every chord on my heartstrings, but I know exactly why. Late 2010, early 2011 was a rough time for me. I felt like my entire life was pointless, like I shouldn't even bother making any personal connections ever again. I gave up writing, I gave up my dream of weaving fictional worlds, and I gave up my desire to even voice my opinion because I thought nobody would listen. This movie lifted me up and came right when I needed it. It hit me like no other movie ever has. With the combination of this movie, rediscovering Naruto, and meeting new friends at college less than 2 years later, I became the man I am today. As an artist and a writer, it is my goal to have that same kind of impact on someone. Even if it's just one person, if I can change just one person's life for the better, it'll all be worth it. Because of that, Daniel Barnes, if you ever find yourself watching this video, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you to everyone who has made this journey worth it. I'm Mediocrity4, thanks for watching.